What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the second episode of my new show called Fishy Business, where I bring on your favorite creators and we talk more about the business side of YouTube. Today we are joined by Carson from the YouTube channel Carson's Aquatics. He posts on his aquariums, his ponds, his fish, and his turtles. He started his channel at the end of 2018 and has grown it to over 34,000 subscribers, and he has gained almost 3.5 million combined channel views. Let's give a big round of applause to Carson. So Carson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for coming on. You are the second guest of the show, so we're excited.
Who's the first one?
The first one is Dan the Turtle Man, actually, which
okay.
I saw in your new YouTube video. You did some reach out with the turtle mystery box for him.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to see where you take this series. I think it'll be cool for the viewers to see another side of their favorite creators.
Right.
So
yeah, completely. Yeah. So I'd like to get into some more specific questions later, but technically you haven't been doing YouTube for super long, and during these past few months you've grown. What do you think are some contributors, like some key things that you've done to grow your YouTube channel recently?
So I think for me, honestly, as sad as it is to say, COVID was like a big help for creators in general. I think all creators will pretty much tell you the same thing. So I mean, whenever people started spending more time at home, that's when I was like, whoa, not that I was trying to take advantage of it, but I mean, you got to make the most out of the situation. So I tried to post a lot more. Over the summer, I was posting every other day for a month or two. And that's definitely when my channel started spiking, gained 25K in a couple months. So I'd say the main key there was consistency, hard work, pretty much the same thing any creator will tell you. Yeah, just consistency is the main thing.
Yeah, so I think just to give some viewers some background story, I first found you on Instagram because someone added me in some sort of fish group chat that we take part of sometimes, and you were one of probably the bigger channels in that group chat at that time. I'm guessing you had around somewhere up or down of 10,000 subscribers during that time. And recently I've noticed within these last several months that your channel has exploded, which is why I thought, I mean, even if you hadn't, but why I really think that you can bring some value to the viewers today.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have great quality on your channel. What sort of editing software or camera setups are you using? And do you use any sort of Google extensions to help you when you're creating videos?
Yeah, so I use the camera I have it right here. The Canon EOS M50. Yeah. There it is. I think it's like $500, just regular. I think it actually went up in price recently. Yeah. And then I have the Rode Go mic. I got a kit, so I got everything in one.
Right.
It's just the reason I got this camera was because it can have an external mic. I got it whenever I was doing my outdoor pond videos because the wind ruined 2 of my videos. So I had to voice over them. So I was like, nah. So I got a windbreaker. So obviously this is the main tool I use. And then as for editing goes, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. For the first year I was doing YouTube, I filmed and edited on my phone using iMovie, the iOS version. So, if people can't afford to use this big equipment and expensive editing software, then literally a phone and iMovie or any other app does just fine. And then extensions, Google extensions you were talking about, I don't personally use any. I just use YouTube Studio to track all my stuff and whatever. And I do make my thumbnails on my phone using Photoshop Express and Fonto. And yeah, so those are pretty much the only external tools I use. I don't use any. I think there's stuff I don't know what it's called, stuff that, what's it called? There's a tool that makes sure it's a checklist that you go through everything when you upload a video. I don't personally use it because I heard like things about people getting hacked. So I stay away from that kind of stuff, but I can see why it would be useful. I just don't personally do it.
Right. If you have one you trust, you can use it, but otherwise, YouTube
Yeah.
Studio is a great option.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
have there been any people that influence you in like the fish and animal space, or maybe even in like the business space that influence you?
So my biggest inspirations, I wouldn't even call them inspirations. It's just like early on. I mean, I still watch a lot of YouTube. Back in the day, I watched even more.
Right.
The main people I watched early on, it was just fishing stuff. So I would watch John B, One Rod, One Reel, people like that. And then as I started getting more and more into aquariums, started watching Paul, Fanatic, people like that. So I try to, I check in on like what they're doing every once in a while. I try not to like watch them too much because I feel like it'll start like reflecting in my videos, and I try to keep my own style.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely.
I've definitely noticed that, like for me, especially when like you either meet them or just like watch their videos a lot, like some inspiration comes off too strong. And
Exactly. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to stay away from. I feel like I have my own style. Or
yeah,
like,
I
I'm,
completely agree. Yeah.
yeah. So
So one thing some creators deal with is burnout, and burnout is like a real thing, and some people can't come back from it. Some people take a break. How do you manage to like stay creative, or are there any choices you make to get inspiration?
yeah, burnout is absolutely real. In fact, I think I'm probably in my biggest burnout yet. Like I mentioned, this summer I was making videos like every other day. Right now I'm doing every 5 days.
Mhm.
So, and I think it is because over the summer and stuff, I definitely like kind of burn myself out at this point. It seems like editing's my biggest problem. Like it's just hard to, at this point, it's hard to just sit down and edit for like 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
But, I think right now I'm at the beginning of like my second wave,
Mhm.
and other creators go through it too. Like they'll just grind for months at a time, and then like they'll just get tired of it. I think like Paul did too.
Yeah.
Like there was a point like kind of recently where he was doing like every 5 or 6 days, but now he's back to it. So,
Right.
and yeah, that's happening for me. I think I'm hitting my second wave. I've been making a lot of videos recently that I haven't put out yet.
That's
So, and yeah, I think just the main thing that keeps me going is just the reaction from the viewers,
mm,
reading people's comments. That's got to be the biggest motivation, seeing all their positive feedback. So that's what keeps me going at the end of the day. And I just got to sit down and edit a video.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the comments really help a lot.
Oh yeah, people hyping me up.
Right. So outside of like making income off of ads, is there anything else you use to like build an income, like Amazon affiliates or investments? Because as we've both noticed, a lot of people are in Pokemon for investing right now. Um, but who knows how long that hype will last. So is there anything outside of AdSense, which we'll talk soon about, that you're either looking into or you use for an income?
Yeah, so I sell merch. I started selling merch at like 5,000 subs. I don't depend on that for any income or anything. Like I think I make like $20 a month on it, which is awesome.
Right.
But nothing too crazy. I don't even like advertise or anything. I just like have it there. If people want to buy it, they can do it. Other than that, I'm hoping to get my second channel going, which I've kind of been ignoring. I made a second channel. I'm hoping to get that going like over the next year and get that to the point where it can monetize.
Right.
And other than that, a couple weeks ago, I started a stock trading account, so I can start building revenue or income that way.
Nice.
So that help. That's pretty much it. I'm just gonna mainly focus on YouTube, try and build it up, and have that be a full-time income. That's all I'm really doing right now.
Right.
Before I was making a decent amount, I was working other jobs, and at this point, I'm doing YouTube full-time.
All right. Well, that kind of led into my second question, so we can skip that part. But so going a bit further into monetization, stuff like CPM and RPM. For people who don't know, that is for an average, your CPM is in your analytics, like with ad revenue. It's basically how much advertisers are paying you per 1,000 views, 1,000 impressions. It differs every video. And then your RPM is basically how much goes back into the creator's pocket after like 40, their YouTube takes their percentage. But
Right.
I feel it's very important for people to understand that sometimes different niches get different CPM. So sometimes some of your favorite gamers who have millions of subscribers may not actually be getting as much as someone that is in the animal space. So
For sure.
I don't know if you're comfortable with sharing CPM stats or not, or you don't have to share an exact number or a rounded number, but like, could you share someone maybe in like this animals fish industry, or yours if you're fine with that, like your CPM, because it does range from person to person.
Absolutely.
And different niches.
Yeah, I don't really care telling people how much I make. I mean, my viewers are the reason I make money from this, so they can know.
Right.
So I haven't checked on my CPM in a while, but I think my RPM, which is what actually matters, that's how much I get. That last time I checked is like just under $6 per 1,000 views. I think it's like 590 something.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really talked to any other YouTubers about theirs, so I don't really know if that's good or not. I'm assuming it's probably somewhere in the middle, because like you said, gamers, people with if people have violent content, stuff with a lot of curse words, inappropriate stuff, they're gonna get way less than we're getting.
Right.
And then on the other side of it, I think like business accounts,
Mm-hmm.
like accounts about investing, real estate, all that stuff. I think I saw one guy who's getting like $30 per 1,000 views from that.
Right.
So, I mean,
I saw
guess that's just
recently to where it was actually in another YouTube sort of interview podcast, but he interviewed someone who it was a $66 CPM, which means he made 33, but that's like one of the highest he's ever seen. And then like mine is averaging like 550, like 1030 CPM. And I think me and Dan had pretty much the same. So pretty much I would say around and then there were some gamers who have millions of subscribers who their CPM, not even their RPM, their CPM was only like a couple dollars. So it really just depends. Looks like average in the animal space, average is probably $9 or $10. And then maybe if someone has a higher one, like say Paul or Fanatic for some reason, could be 12 or 15, I'm assuming. But I think we probably have about a good average. It's definitely somewhere in the middle. But it's a comfortable middle, and grateful for it still.
Absolutely. I think it just depends on like what advertisers are willing to pay. Like they're going to be more willing to pay like business accounts and stuff more, because I feel like the viewers that watch those videos are like more mature and more willing to spend money.
Right.
You know, like if they see an ad, they're more likely to like pull through with it. Like if you have gaming videos, it's going to be mainly kids who are watching it, so they're not going to be as likely to engage with the ad. I think that's probably what it's got to do with. So it makes sense that we're in the middle, and definitely happy about it. So
right, definitely. So one key to generating good views is thumbnails. So what are some of your like thumbnail strategies that I've seen? Because you do have one certain thumbnail strategy that you have in every video, but could you give the viewers maybe what that is, plus maybe some tips on how they can make and create good thumbnails?
Yeah, I use a lot of question marks. I feel like the element of mystery works a lot. People see a question mark, they're like, whoa, I want to know what's going on. So most of the time, if I'm doing something with the tank, I mean, I try to summarize. The point of a thumbnail is to summarize the video in a picture. So, I mean, I just try and do that, obviously. So if I have a video about a tank, a lot of times I'll just like pose in front of the tank and put a question mark in front of it. I feel like that's all I can really do. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then there's do one specific thing that you do to every thumbnail, which I used to do. I have done a few versions in the past, trying to see what sticks or not. Now I might just, even one way to do it is either yourself or the same kind of text. But I'll let you share your one way.
I just caught on to that. So I do a blue border around all my thumbnails. I just do that to, if people are watching a video from like someone else and they look over at their recommended bar. If they see that blue border, they know it's me. Or even if they're watching one of my videos and they want to keep watching my videos, if they see that blue border, then they know that it's mine. So that's just kind of my thing. I've seen other people do it with, like, whether it be a border like that. A lot of people use the same picture of their face in every thumbnail. So, I mean, I think it does help for sure. Like, I'm not going to lose anything by doing that. And
Right.
something as non-noticeable as the blue border, I think that's like the perfect kind of thing.
Right. And I think you're in like a great space to where, how should I say it? Like a blue border, because I've done some research on this in my original channel. I used like Catch 'em All Fishing has like a red border. I used a green border on the side. Then I created one sort of like a Brave Wilderness one, so there in the corner. Just experimented with different things. But like, even going into like technically speaking, like blue is graphically the world's most attractive and loved color, to where it's a nice color.
Is it?
And you can, just having a thin border around the edges, especially with a good color, not something like red or a green to where it may stand out or throw off some people. Blue is a good neutral color to where it's like good for everyone. So you gotta.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Blue's my favorite color, and it's like the theme of my channel. So that's why I chose blue.
Right.
I guess I got lucky there.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Awesome.
So if you could tell your younger self one thing about like creating content, because also one thing you haven't, I don't know if you've done channels in the past, but you've only been making, at least on this channel, it says from like the end of 2018. So
Yeah.
if you could tell your younger self to get ready for something in the future, or like give them some tips, what would you say to your younger self?
I'd probably say get more comfortable talking to people. Honestly, that's something you got to be able to do if you want to be a creator. If you go back and watch my old videos, I sounded like a robot talking. Even like my videos from 2 years ago to 1 year ago, to even 3 months ago, like my personality in them seems so different. And that's just because you get more comfortable in front of the camera as you go on. So, I mean, to anyone that's like trying to start a channel and you feel awkward on the camera, all of us did our first time. Every creator will tell you that. It gets better. Every single video gets better. I think at this point in my videos, I'm like my true self, and I try to stick with that. I think it's really important to completely be yourself. So if I had to tell my younger self one thing, it'd probably be like take a public speaking class or something.
Right.
Because I've never really been an outgoing person. YouTube has helped with that so much.
Right.
I've always, like, growing up, I was always super shy. I think I still am, but YouTube has helped so much. Like having, at this point, 10,000 people watching me every day. Like it definitely helps the nerves, in a good way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say one again, like being yourself, because especially in my previous channel, even in the beginning of this one, and this is why as a creator you should lessen your watching time of other of your favorite creators, because you do, and I did for probably a long time, imitate people like, I tried to imitate people like Cafaro, Fanatic, just like all these other people, but it really just tears you down. For one, your viewers for the most part can tell when you're not yourself, or just like you're just lying to yourself as a person. So it's really just a strong point to where people need to get that down, to
Yeah.
concise area to where don't be afraid to be yourself. Because
Right.
personally, I also am like a shy person. I mean, of course, again, YouTube has helped, but
Hmm.
I still am a more shy person. So it definitely does help you a little bit in that area. And my parents did, but I was in a speech and a debate class at some point. I didn't like it, but of course
Yeah.
it does help you.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it was
And yeah,
fun. Do you have something to add?
yeah, I was just gonna say, your viewers, if you try to like pretend to be someone you're not, your viewers are gonna see right through it. Like the truth will eventually come out, so you might as well just start that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're getting about to near the end, so we can get on some more fun speed round questions. So for you, what are like some fun parts that you like to do, like in creating videos? Like, what are some fun things that when you make a video, you're like, man, I love doing this part.
Probably, definitely not editing. Probably, probably either like I mentioned earlier, seeing the reaction of people,
Mm.
seeing their positive feedback, and kind of going with that. Whenever you like finally, after like 5 or 6 hours, like it takes me like 5 or 6 hours to edit a video. After you're finally done, that feeling of relief you get when it's just done, ready to upload, that's the greatest feeling. But the most fun part is probably for me filming,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, everything I film it because I like doing it. Especially with this hobby, you can be very creative with it. Setting up tanks, dealing with animals. It's a very creative based hobby. So there's a lot of room to have fun with it. So I think just like filming what I upload is the most fun part for me.
All right. So if you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be?
Man, uh, probably Jesus. I don't know, Jackie Robinson, and like Tony Ferguson, which is my favorite UFC fighter.
All
Just
right.
that, and you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Right. Pretty great
I don't
option.
know. That's a hard question.
All right. So that's going to wrap it up, Carson, for today's show. So if you don't mind letting people know where they can get a hold of you or just like watch your content.
Yeah, so my YouTube and Instagram is Carson's Aquatics. I have a Twitter and I have a TikTok. I don't really post on them anymore. So mainly just Instagram is where it would be the best place to contact me, but I get a lot of DMs, so I'm sorry if I can't get to everyone. But yeah, YouTube is where I'm the most active, so check me out there. And yeah.
All right, Carson. So thank you for being the second guest on Fishy Business. And if you guys liked today's episode, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know how you liked it. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a 5-star review if you would like. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to again subscribe, turn on that little notification bell. So thank you all so much. Again, comment your thoughts, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.